welcome to the stage founder of the Wedding Industry Awards and chairman of the judging panel, Mr. Damien Bailey.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2012 Wedding Industry Awards event. It's really great to see so many of you here this evening. For those of us who work in the wedding industry, we all spend so much of our time making sure that other people's weddings and parties are a success that I think we deserve a party once in a while. When we decided to launch these awards, we set out to achieve two clear goals. Firstly, to recognise and reward the very best wedding suppliers in the country who are skilled, dedicated and work so hard for their clients, week in, week out. The wedding industry is a highly competitive market, and we want to enable the very best talent to stand out from the crowd. After all, to succeed in the current economic climate, standing out from the crowd is what it's all about. Secondly, we want these awards to help couples who are planning their weddings make better educated decisions when booking their wedding suppliers. As a wedding supplier myself, I want these awards to show future brides and grooms that there is so much more to what we all do than simply how much do you charge. The only way we could achieve these goals was by creating a fully independent awards process that would actually be meaningful to both the wedding suppliers and the couples planning their weddings. I believe that with your help, we have done this in three ways. By including a regional round of awards, we've been able to highlight so many more talented suppliers all over the country, many of whom only operate on a regional basis. This is a vital aspect of our industry, and we plan to develop the regional emphasis of these awards in the future. By only allowing past wedding clients to vote for the suppliers they used for their weddings, these are the only awards that are firmly based on user experience. This is the only true and meaningful representation of just how good wedding suppliers really are. Between our launch at the end of June last year and when voting closed at the end of October, more than 22,000 couples voted for their wedding suppliers in these awards. This phenomenal response clearly shows how much recently married couples value the efforts of their wedding suppliers and understand and embrace the ethos behind these awards. Finally, by ensuring that we have a truly rigorous and transparent judging process, we've ensured that the wedding suppliers of all sizes can compete on a level playing field. The cherry on the cake is our truly exceptional judging panel that had to make the inevitable final decisions. Our judging panel is second to none, with its great breadth of experience and real depth of expertise. The judging panel has been a major force behind these awards. So forgive me while I say a few thank yous. To Annabelle Beeforth, writer of the ever-popular blog Love My Dress, Miranda Easton, editor of You and Your Wedding magazine, Peggy Portion, one of our best-known cake designers, Sandy Moretta, one of the directors of the UK Alliance of Wedding Planners, Sarah Hayward, wedding planner and designer extraordinaire, Sarah Hewson from Sky News and a recent bride herself, and finally Sassy Holford, one of this country's preeminent wedding dress designers. Ladies, thank you for all your time, dedication and hard work. It has been a pleasure to work with you, and as the only man on the panel, I can tell you that I didn't feel intimidated once. Maybe once. In addition to the main panel, we asked several other industry experts to help us as consultant judges in their area of expertise. So my thanks also go to Caroline Marshall Foster, publisher of Florist and Wholesale Buyer magazine, Claire Gould of EnglishWedding.com, Natalie Donovan of 2x2weddings.com, Julia Brame of BridesUpNorth.com, and Julie Askew, editor of Cake Craft and Decoration magazine. Thank you all for your efforts too. May I also take this opportunity to quickly thank the whole team who have helped us get these awards off the ground. You know who you are, and we couldn't have done it without you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have big plans for these awards. We will be developing them in various ways over the next few months before launching the 2013 awards in April. We will make sure that you are the first to hear about it. There is always room for improvement, and we are already looking at every aspect of these awards, including adding to the expertise on the judging panel, adjusting the awards categories, and further enhancing the voting process. To this end, we welcome all feedback, not now, but later, tomorrow, to help us take these awards forward. The bottom line is that we want this awards logo to be a true mark of quality for brides and grooms, and a badge of honour for every single wedding supplier who enters the awards. If you like, we want this awards logo to become the kite mark for the wedding industry, and for the high standards that we recognise to become the industry standard to which everyone aspires. All regional winners were sent one of these small enamel badges, and while some of them escaped en route, most of you are wearing them this evening. This little badge represents all your skill, dedication, and hard work. Your clients think you should have it, and so do we, so wear it with pride because you've earned it. A couple of housekeeping points, if I may. I won't bore you with a recap of the judging process, but full details are available on our website. Suffice to say that everyone who is on the shortlists for tonight's national awards have already won the regional award in their category. And this will be highlighted on the screen for each shortlist, so feel free to whoop and cheer, no problem at all. If you win a national award tonight, please come up to the stage to collect your trophy and for a quick photo. In several of tonight's categories, the judging panel felt strongly that highly commended awards should be made too. If you are a winner of a highly commended certificate, this evening we ask that you collect it after the awards presentation rather than coming up on stage. Sorry about this, but it will just help things run on time. After all the awards have been presented, we ask that all national winners and all highly commended suppliers join us upstairs, near where we came in, for photos, interviews, and a celebratory drink. I'll remind you about that at the end. So enough from me. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our host for this evening's awards. She can be seen on Sky News alongside Adam Bolton every weekend lunchtime. She is Sky's royal correspondent and anchored Sky's coverage of the royal wedding last year whilst planning her own wedding that took place a few months later. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Sarah Hewson.
Thank you, Damien. Good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, some of you may be wondering what a newsreader has to do with the wedding industry. Well, as Damien has already said, 2011 was a year dominated by weddings for me. In between the Arab Spring, the Japanese tsunami, the death of Bin Laden and the London riots, I lived and breathed weddings, my own and the royal wedding. And then one day it was all over. And so I have to say thank you, because this in many ways is a form of therapy for those inevitable withdrawal symptoms from which I was suffering. And it has been a pleasure to be involved in the judging process and in this evening's festivities as well. I think it goes without saying that planning a wedding for any bride is an incredibly exciting time, but also a somewhat stressful one. For me, the greatest angst was choosing a wedding date. I'd spent 5 years as Sky News' royal correspondent, and I was asked on a weekly, if not daily basis, when Prince William and Kate Middleton were going to get married. It was something we had all been waiting for a long time, and 2011 was the hotly tipped year. When I got engaged in July 2010, there was just one thing on my mind, one concern. How could I pick a date that wouldn't clash with the royal wedding? What if they got engaged and I'd got all my plans in place and suddenly they all fell apart? The biggest day of my life and the most important day of my career, a moment in history. So I called up one of my most reliable and trusted royal sources and asked him possibly the strangest question he's ever been asked: when should I get married?
When would I have the least chance of clashing with the royal wedding? So we opted for the 11th of June, the day of trooping the colour, when I was reliably informed that the entire royal family would be otherwise engaged. November 2010, and that long-awaited announcement finally came. William had popped the question. I, along with several other royal journalists, were invited along to St James's Palace for a celebratory cup of tea with the Prince and his new fiancée. This was my opportunity, I thought, to elicit some information about the date. But they were giving nothing away. While most of us have to talk to our families, have to check with our chosen venue and the church, this couple had to get the approval for their date from the Queen, the entire royal family, the government, the military and foreign dignitaries as well. Spring or summer was all they would say. I think the fear must have been written all over my face, and William, enjoying the sport of the moment, asked me when my wedding day was. "I hope you haven't gone for the 11th of June, he said. That could be awkward. Now, I'd clearly been tipped off, but in my less rational moments and during the sleepless nights that followed, the doubts began to creep in. Maybe they'd go for the day before my wedding, which wouldn't leave me much time to get ready. Perhaps the royals, keen to show that they were in touch with these times of austerity, would opt for a double celebration, the Queen's birthday parade and a royal wedding all rolled into one, prompting a difficult conversation with either my boss or my husband-to-be, depending on who I felt was going to be most forgiving. Well, at last, a week later, the date was announced. The agony was over. There was no clash, and on April the 29th, along with some of my other judges here tonight, I was privileged to be able to play my part on that historic day, broadcasting from Buckingham Palace. And 6 weeks later, enjoy my own wedding, the best day of my life. And that is what you all do, create unforgettable experiences for brides and grooms across the country. Now, I've talked about my own agonising wait, and I won't prolong yours any further. Let's get down to the main business of this evening, the announcement and presentation of the 2012 Wedding Industry Awards. Now, as you can see, Damien has remained on stage to assist me in handing out these fantastic trophies. We have 19 awards to present tonight, so without further ado, let's begin. The first award for this evening is for the Best Wedding Florists. The florists who are regional winners and so made it onto the national shortlist are Bell's Flowers, Blossom, Donna Beaver at the Flower Studio, Heidi Appleyard Floral Design, Rose and Grace, Sonning Flowers Limited, and Tinneke Floral Designs. The panel were looking for the florist who best demonstrated the skill and ability to produce all types of bouquets and designs. Damien, the winner, please.
The national winner of the award for the Best Wedding Florist 2012 is Sonning Flowers.
Please welcome Mandy, Emma and Lucy from Sonning Flowers to collect their awards.